Dr. Annika is interrogated by a group of agents in their 70-second session in an interrogation room. After checking her vitals, they ask her what she saw and how she's still alive. Annika then starts sharing her story. As a child, Annika enjoyed spending time with her sister Clara. If a firefly is caught in a jar, they will let it out so it can breathe. Clara suddenly collapses and drops the jar, and Annika screams for their mother, who is immediately taken to the hospital, and Annika is left holding her hand while she dies. Annika goes to a speech years later by billionaire Sam, who is sure that there is life in the universe beyond Earth. Sam doesn't think of himself as a visionary. He describes himself as an observer. He notes that he's made his first billion from solar energy, but he didn't create the sun. However, he does think that Annika is a visionary and makes her raise her hand as he explains to the crowd that she was the first person to photograph dark matter. Sam goes to Annika after the event and tells her that he is a big fan. He also admits that he didn't go to the event to do a talk. He came to offer her a job. They take her to a bar and talk about her work, and she tells them how she managed to find order amidst the chaos by overlapping 233 data sets. Sam asks her why she did this, and she says she wants to know what's out there. Sam tells her that she will work in a small lab on a remote Caribbean island for a year, but she doesn't tell her what it is, because it's confidential, but she guesses that he's hunting aliens, and Sam tells her that he's gathering them, so she takes the job. Sometime later, Annika is taken to the island by boat and meets Charlie, an electronics engineer. He's the director of Gateway Labs and was hired by Sam to check on the technology he's installed on the island. When they arrive, they learn that the staff is only around 10 people because they're keeping things small. Annika walks around the premises and marvels at an intriguing statue before entering the building. On the upper floor, she discovers Dr. Perry, who is getting an immuno booster from a doctor. Annika introduces herself and extends her hand to shake, but Perry doesn't shake her hand and is hostile. He believes that Annika was sent by Sam to spy on him and to be the bruise that will kill him. Soon Charlie joins them and attempts to introduce himself as well, but he's met with rudeness as well. Perry he turns around the house and reminds them that all their communications are monitored, which was a non-disclosure agreement they signed. Charlie is amazed by the different devices in the lab, and Perry instructs him not to touch anything. Then he begins to speak about evolution and how the apex predators are likely to destroy themselves. Now humans are searching for another world of resources, but aliens are out there and they have technologically advanced competition. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence has focused on radio waves, which account for just 1/10,000,000th of the sky, and is based on a technology that is outmoded. Perry believes aliens wouldn't use radio to communicate. Instead, he has an FTL communicator. It takes 2 photons and pairs them. One is kept on Earth and the other is sent light years away. They will be able to talk to one another throughout the galaxy. Charlie mentions that this violates the laws of physics, but Perry says that it only bends the laws that humans know. Annika also says it can't be, but Perry swears that his machine does that, and he built it 6 years ago in his basement. He tells them to make it perfect and he goes away. Annika and Charlie look at the mess of data coming out of the machine. Annika realizes they need to find order in chaos, which is what her own project did. She feeds her algorithm into the machine, and gradually the data is sorted until they are sure that they have an actual signal from aliens. The two race outside to speak with Perry, who had already surmised that they had a signal and only needed Annika's math to verify it. Unfortunately, it hasn't been able to duplicate the quantum signatures and so can't communicate with the aliens yet. But Perry has done so in his own lab in the past, and so he's been brought here to use his own experiment in this machine. Later, Perry checks on his daughter Lucy, who was playing with some ants on a tree. He asks her about her schooling and tells her how humans study ants to solve traffic problems, but the girl barely speaks. Perry walks away without saying a word. Annika double-checks in the lab that the signal is real and begins to think about Clara. They heard monsters as they were camping. Clara was not convinced of them and wanted to get out of the tent, but Annika said no, she would not want to lose her. In the evening, Charlie wants to turn on the transmitter, but Annika thinks it isn't safe to do so yet. She asks Charlie what aliens can do, and he tells her he was involved in the development of a bionic eye which would transmit microelectrodes from the eye to the brain to aid the blind. Through the years, it's received so many updates that the 5th version will offer better vision than a healthy human eye. Charlie thinks that one by one, the human body will be improved until they can figure out how to put their minds in a sturdy case, such as a chip. That's his endgame for Homo sapiens. However, Annika doesn't like it and points out that painful experiences make people who they are, so they shouldn't get rid of them. She also has the knowledge that some of Charlie's patients end up removing the bionic eye, which means that people can be proud of their flaws. The agents ask Annika why she stayed in the present, as she knew Perry was a threat. Annika explained she wanted to help because it wasn't a good idea to leave first contact with aliens to a crazy man. Her story goes on as Perry checks on Lucy again. He only checks her test results and doesn't even speak to her before he leaves. Later, Annika talks to the staff doctor, who hasn't left the island in 3 years, and it's taking a toll on her. She says that 4 years ago, Perry lost his wife and son in a fire and never got over it. He was in a lab in an outbuilding, self-medicating and likely intoxicated, and did not find out about the fire until he was awakened by cops. Lucy was at a sleepover and that's why she survived. The doctor tells Perry that he knows that humans are important in theory, but not in practice. During dinner, Sam does a magic trick for Lucy. This angers Perry, who sends her to bed. Then Charlie and Annika report to Sam telling him that they've confirmed the signal is real. They want to tell the world, but Sam doesn't want to have to deal with the bureaucracy. There is an argument that breaks out and Sam tells them that they can't even talk to the aliens yet, so Annika asks for 1 week to complete the project. As they chat, Perry constantly interrupts them to comment on their meal and talks about unnatural relationships between animals on farms. He states that an animal that likes to be alone will feel threatened by visitors and will attack. Suddenly, Perry snaps, slamming the table as he tells the group that he won't wait anymore. He wants Charlie and Annika to do his project now or he is done. When Perry leaves the table, Sam tells him that he always does this and they're holding him back with pills. The other reason he's taken Annika and Charlie to the island is because they will take the place of Perry when he goes out of commission. Afterward, Charlie and Annika drink while admiring the view and Annika admits she's worried that the aliens may be hostile. Charlie thinks the universe is full of resources and technology, so there's nothing the aliens may want from Earth. Annika reminds them that life is fragile and fear is what keeps them safe. Once everyone is asleep, Charlie sneaks into the lab and completes his repairs on little MIT, enabling it to talk back. He immediately tells Perry, who starts programming the message. Perry calls Annika to check on the data and she objects, but it's ignored. Perry has chosen the most repeated sequence from the alien signal and will send it back even though he doesn't know what it means. He will use the speed of light as a unit of measurement and repeat the code 10 times in various intervals, so the aliens can let humans know that they are logical beings. As Annika continues to argue with him, she texts Sam to tell him to stop this, but Sam just says that he wishes he was there. Perry guesses what she's doing and tells her that even if Sam wanted to stop him, he can't since there is no kill switch. Charlie suggests to Perry that they should select a strong quote to send, but Perry doesn't think he'll get a reply anyway. If it doesn't really matter, why did he build this? Perry says it's just to prove it. After some preparation, the machine glows and the message goes out. The group waits for a few minutes, but sadly nothing happens. Annika calls Sam to update him and tells him she is leaving. The call is cut off due to loss of service. One day, the lab goes down and the backup generator goes on, but Annika is trapped in her room. Meanwhile, Sam is watching the lights go out in the city. After some hesitation, Perry does so, and Charlie notices problems in the system and desperately tells Perry to shut it down. Then Charlie hacks the lock on his tablet to open Annika's room. They watch the news with the doctor and discover that the entire world went without electricity for a short period of time, resulting in several disasters and deaths. NASA acknowledges they are in a quandary and that it is not just in Earth's atmosphere. Some reporters start to wonder if aliens were involved. Annika notices that the power came back after 8 minutes and 19 seconds, which is the exact amount of time that it takes sunlight to get to Earth. She believes that this is because the aliens communicate in a language that humans can understand, as the sun is of great importance to them. After Charlie agrees with her conclusion, Annika decides that she has to kill Little Myth. The doctor agrees, saying they can't count on Perry's humanity. Charlie believes the aliens are doing a good job, but Annika is sure that they cannot know that, so another argument ensues. Perry is watching the cameras, and he sees Lucy running outside, so he pushes a button in the machine. When Annika attempts to turn off Little Myth, she finds that Perry already did. Outside, all bugs are dropping dead around Little Myth, forming a perfect circle. Lucy is playing with a kite, which is suddenly pulled towards the machine. She screams in pain as the string gets caught in her hand and starts to pull her on the ground and cause her to bleed. Perry runs to his daughter and untangles the string, letting the kite soar off. As Lucy hugs her dad, the adults see a strange anomaly in the sky. The NSA, or National Security Agency, comes to the city to ask Sam why his operations haven't been disbanded. They do have a video of the sky phenomenon, but they cannot analyze it due to their satellites being down. The anomaly seems to be growing. In 2 days it'll be seen from the mainland, and in a week the whole world will panic. But Sam tells the agents that there's only one thing on the island, a solar observatory. When he tries to leave, the agents say he needs a military escort, but Sam points out they can't do anything if they don't have charges. The staff are frightened and they pack up and leave the island. Charlie sees the circle of bugs and attempts to get closer to the machine, but is pushed back by Annika and scolded. Then Charlie shows her the test results, which show that Little Myth is surrounded by a column of air and a vacuum. As Annika notes, speech is simply air with meaning. Perhaps this air column is information. The duo then collects someone to start a fire next to Little Myth, and the vacuum immediately absorbs the smoke, which forms shapes around the machine. In the present, Annika says that the aliens think in thoughts and visions. So why don't the agents just get down to business? Advanced beings have better ways of communicating than English, thinks Annika. Her story goes on as Perry kicks the doctor out of Lucy's room and ignores his concerns. Then he begins to read Peter Pan to his daughter as the army prepares to invade the island. The world is in a state of emergency, including curfews and emergency powers. The people are rioting on the streets and some governments are opting for martial law. Finally, when Sam reaches the island, he asks the team for an answer that they can give to the military. Charlie believes that the pattern is a distress signal and that the aliens are attempting to keep humans safe. Annika observes the riots and the people that are stuck in the subway, which reminds her of the firefly in the jar that needed to breathe. Now the aliens know that air is important to humanity and they are using it to communicate, so they could talk back. The air column is an invitation, but anyone who enters will choke to death. Charlie offers to do it, but at that time they are surrounded by the army and get arrested. As soldiers guard Little Myth, Charlie and Annika believe they can fix this if they talk to the aliens. However, an NSA agent explains that governments all over the world are getting their weapons ready, so there's no way to fix this now. The group must stay in their rooms until they find a place to send them to. Afterward, Annika and Charlie discuss the situation using the intercoms. Annika is too afraid, so Charlie tells her that she must not let fear get the better of her and that she is a scientist to help people. This makes her think of Clara's death, causing her to cry. She couldn't help Clara, but she can do something now. Then Annika lies to the NSA agent and tells him that Perry is still operating a signal that is causing the anomaly to grow. He falls for it and wants to send a soldier to shut it down, but Annika tells him that only a scientist can understand the controls. The agent agrees to let her 5 minutes with Little Myth. Annika is sitting in a tent with a laptop and is pretending to use it. Then Charlie begins to bang on his glass doors and yells to distract the guards. Annika takes the opportunity to run towards Little Myth and enters the air column, but is shot by a soldier and collapses. A few seconds later, Annika awakens feeling just fine and doesn't see anyone outside the air column. She begins thinking about questions and breathes, so the aliens confirm that they're inside her head by making her see a vision of Clara. The aliens tell the girl that they are not biological or machines, using her voice. They're physics itself. They don't create or destroy. They learn and reorganize. Charlie's theory was right. The message was an SOS. So, these aliens came to Earth to save the human race from other aliens in the universe. Since Earth has revealed itself, it's now in danger. This is the only alien race that protects. Others are predators. As Annika sees various visions of the universe, the aliens tell her that one day humanity can evolve this way. In the air column, the agent prevents the soldiers from intervening. Annika is given the Clara illusion and she opens the jar to let out dozens of fireflies. As she finally lets go of her grief, she wakes up in the real world. In the present, Annika tells us that humans are now safe from the universe but not from themselves. When the agents ask her if the aliens will return, she tells them they never left. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.